For centuries, it was a place where life went to die. Now it is where life is being reborn. Across northern China, the Taklamakan Desert sprawls, a vast ocean of sand covering more than 337,000 square kilometers. For generations, it was a landscape defined only by wind and dust, a place that seemed to swallow all traces of life. Yet today, something impossible is happening. Amidst that endless expanse, green forests are slowly taking root, their canopy stretching toward the horizon. These once barren lands where furious sandstorms could wipe out entire villages are now stirring with vitality. This monumental effort is known as the Green Great Wall, a nearly unimaginable ecological project and one of the largest restoration campaigns on Earth. The scale of the mission is staggering, with hundreds of millions of trees planted and millions of hectares of land reclaimed from the creeping desert. The transformation of lifeless sand into fertile ground holds the key to this ambitious undertaking. It arrives on the wind, a silent invader from the north. For generations, northern China has contended with a relentless adversary: sand. When monsoon winds descended from the Gobi and Taklamakan deserts, they carried with them immense dust storms that would swallow the skies over Beijing, plunging day into an eerie twilight. By the 1990s, the situation had grown dire. There were years when the capital's inhabitants were forced to wear masks for more than 80 days, simply to shield their lungs from the fine, choking dust carried on the breeze. The source of this affliction, the Taklamakan Desert, was born millions of years ago, a geological accident of immense scale. Locked between the towering Tian Shan Mountains to the north and the Kunlun Mountains to the south, this vast basin is starved of moisture. The ranges form a near impenetrable barrier, blocking rain from both the Indian Ocean and Siberia, creating an enormous arid wasteland. Here, the average annual rainfall is less than 100 millimeters, a figure almost 10 times lower than that of California, a region already known for its dry climate. To visualize this scarcity, imagine that each square meter of Taklamakan land receives only the equivalent of a 500 milliliter bottle of water each week, far too little for almost any plant life to take root. The climate is a study in extremes, with summer temperatures soaring above 40 degrees Celsius and winter bringing a bitter cold that can plummet below 20 degrees Celsius. Merciless sandstorms can materialize at any moment, without warning. This punishing natural environment, when combined with human pressures like deforestation, overgrazing, and the excessive extraction of groundwater, has exhausted the soil. The land's protective vegetation vanished, clearing the path for uncontrolled desertification to advance across the northern plains of China. From the heavens, it appears as a simple pattern etched into the sand. But on the ground, it is a war against the desert itself, waged with little more than the straw and human will. This monumental effort began not with the roar of heavy machinery, but with the quiet precision of a carefully laid plan. Engineers first turned their eyes to the sky, using satellite imagery and drones to chart the shifting soul of the Taklamakan Desert. They mapped the dance of its dunes and the direction of its winds, gathering the data needed to design a colossal grid system. Across the burning sands of western China, this design takes shape as a vast tapestry of straw checkerboards. Each square, measuring roughly 20 by 20 feet, is laid out diagonally, creating a geometric pattern that stretches to the horizon. It's a deceptively simple image, masking a logistical operation of immense complexity, carried out under the most brutal conditions. Millions of pounds of straw must first be transported hundreds of miles deep into the desert's heart, a realm where paved roads are a memory and vehicles often surrender to the soft, yielding sand. Once on site, teams of workers begin the grueling task of digging shallow trenches and laying bundles of straw into precise grid lines. Under a relentless sun, where temperatures climb above 49 degrees Celsius and shade is non-existent, every movement becomes a battle against heat and exhaustion. Yet thousands of workers persist, because each woven square is more than a simple barrier. It is the foundation for life's return. The intricate pattern stabilizes the restless dunes, slows the wind to a whisper, and creates microclimates where precious moisture can linger just long enough for planting to begin. With the grid secured, mechanical augers and planting machines move in. They drill small, precise holes at the center of each square, preparing the soil for carefully selected, drought-resistant species like saxaul, desert poplar, and red willow. The young seedlings, nurtured in distant nurseries, are then transplanted into the prepared earth. Each one is positioned with exacting care, its fragile roots settled just below the surface, where the straw layer can shield it from the scorching sun and abrasive sand. A measured amount of water is added, and the soil is compacted around the base, ensuring the roots make firm contact with the moist layer below. As the weeks pass, the straw grid continues its silent work. It keeps the surface cooler, slows evaporation, and prevents the fine sand from eroding around the vulnerable seedlings. Over time, wind, dew, and microorganisms begin to break the straw down, transforming it into a nutrient-rich organic blanket. This natural fertilizer feeds the developing root systems, encouraging them to stretch deeper into the newly stabilized soil, forging a living network that anchors the dunes and begins the long, patient process of reclaiming the desert. In a land scorched by relentless light, a new kind of forest takes root. Beyond the simple act of planting trees, another strategy unfolds, one that turns the desert's greatest challenge into its most powerful solution. Here in the heart of the Taklamakan, engineers have harnessed the sun's formidable energy, transforming a destructive force into a vast source of power for the entire region. The solution was as bold as it was elegant. Let the sun itself grow the forest. This landscape receives over 2,700 hours of sunlight each year, ranking it among the planet's most irradiated zones. Instead of simply scorching the sand, that blazing energy now fuels a massive renewable power source. Stretching for more than 436 kilometers across the desert, the Tarim Desert Highway serves as the backbone for this ambitious project. Along its length, 86 solar-powered pumping stations stand like sentinels against the dunes. Each station hosts hundreds of photovoltaic panels, silently generating the electricity needed to pump groundwater from depths exceeding 100 meters. This precious water then travels through a network of underground pipelines, delivered by drip irrigation to sustain more than 200,000 trees in a place that sees almost no rain. As a result, the Tarim Highway has become the world's first carbon-free desert expressway, a place where a remarkable cycle is born. Sunlight generates electricity, electricity produces water, and water sustains life. To optimize the space, the solar fields are elevated about 2 meters above the ground, allowing air to circulate and creating a shaded microclimate where new life can flourish. The cooler, moisture-retaining soil beneath the panels now supports species like licorice, red willow, and hawthorn, forming natural green zones under an artificial sky. Here, solar energy does more than just power pumps or light street lamps. It illuminates a path toward environmental renewal. In this desert, once known as the Sea of Death, one of the world's largest ecological laboratories is emerging, a place where sunlight, technology, and human perseverance converge. From what was once seen as a hostile force, humanity has learned to turn sunlight into water and sand into forest. And in this land once called the Sea of Death, the sun itself has become the source of life. A sea of glass shimmers in the desert heat, each pane a soldier in a silent army. Here, thousands of heliostat mirrors sweep across the landscape in vast, curving formations, tilting and turning on 2 axes in a slow, synchronized dance with the sun. Their collective gaze focuses the sun's rays into a single, blinding point of light at the pinnacle of a central tower. Within this focal point, a river of molten salt is superheated to temperatures exceeding 540 degrees Celsius. This searing thermal energy is then harnessed to create high-pressure steam, a force powerful enough to drive massive turbines and spin generators into motion. But the true ingenuity lies in its ability to capture daylight itself. Any surplus heat is channeled into vast, insulated tanks of molten salt, creating a thermal battery that can be drawn upon at will. This stored energy ensures the plant continues to feed the grid steadily through the darkest nights and under the thickest cloud cover. The cost to construct and run this 50-megawatt solar power tower in the heart of the Taklamakan is estimated at around $130 million. Beyond planting forests, stabilizing the shifting sands, and harnessing the sun, China has also begun to reshape the very edge of the world. Where once there was only sand, a new kind of oasis now blooms. China is transforming the fringes of its vast deserts into destinations for a new kind of traveler, blending science, culture, and nature. Along the frontiers of the Taklamakan and Gobi, sprawling man-made forests, shimmering solar farms, and engineered reservoirs have been woven together into unique parks. In certain regions, a more intimate form of tourism is taking root, where visitors can experience eco-lodges steeped in the rich cultural traditions of the Uyghur and Mongolian people. For those seeking a more traditional journey, camel treks wind their way across the sands. These excursions, lasting between 2 and 5 hours, traverse immense dunes and pause at rest stops established deep within the desert landscape, with costs ranging from $40 to $120. Through this fusion of conservation, education, and direct experience, the Taklamakan is becoming more than just a testament to ecological engineering. It stands as a powerful symbol of humanity's potential to coexist in harmony with the natural world. A single black line stretches across an endless sea of sand, a testament not to conquest, but to coexistence. To open this vast landscape to the world, China first had to tame it with one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects in its western frontier. This is the Tarim Desert Highway, an engineering marvel forged to link the distant oasis cities of Luntai and Minfeng. The road carves a direct path for over 300 kilometers, cutting straight through the heart of the wilderness. Work began in 1993, and in just over 2 years, the highway officially opened on October 4th, 1995. Crews battled unimaginable extremes, from shifting dunes and blinding sandstorms to temperatures soaring past 50 degrees Celsius. The project demanded an investment of around 1.75 billion yuan, or roughly $260 million. Beneath the asphalt, a complex foundation of gravel, straw mats, and geotextiles anchors the road, preventing the desert from reclaiming its territory. Today, this vital artery not only connects remote solar farms and research stations, but also acts as a gateway for ecotourism. It guides travelers through a landscape that was, until recently, among the most unreachable places on Earth. It was once called the Sea of Death, a place where life surrendered. Today, that same land is drawing a breath of its own. This transformation, born from decades of relentless effort, has yielded results that defy all early expectations. An immense green shield now encircles nearly the whole of the Taklamakan, a living barrier holding back the sand. Official figures paint a staggering picture. Over 30 million hectares of barren land have been brought back to life, pushing the nation's forest coverage from just 10% in 1949 to more than 25% today. In places like Aksu and Kaikeya, where endless dunes once stretched to the horizon, now stand vast forests of poplar, hawthorn, almond, and walnut. Scientists calculate that the frequency of sandstorms has plummeted by 82% compared to the 1980s. The number of dusty days in Kaikeya has fallen from around 100 to a mere 30 per year. These once dead lands now absorb over 20,000 tons of carbon dioxide annually, forming what many describe as the desert's green lungs. The Sea of Death, it seems, has finally learned to breathe. A forest can rise from the sand, but can it truly belong there? The journey from barren dune to living landscape reveals a world powered by sunlight and human ingenuity. This sweeping transformation leaves behind a profound question. Is this a miracle of nature, coaxed back to life? Or is it a monument to engineering, a testament to what humanity can achieve when pushed to the very edge of survival?